see my grandkids grow up or get married or anything like that. It was really hard. The first thing I thought it was my grandbabies.
More to cancer than what you're hearing.
I don't think I've ever had a good day. I mean, I've had a little bit better day, but never a good day. It's a long, long journey. I want to say I think chemo is my worst of everything.
It's not just chemo and it's not just cancer. It's a very serious, deadly disease.
Hi, I'm Caitlin and I'm here with Lisa. Last time I was with Lisa, we talked about the truth on cancer.
Lisa shared the emotions.
It's taken everything from me. I need calls. I need hugs. I need kisses. I need people to tell me that they still love me and that they're still there for me.
And the physical aspects of cancer.
My chemo is hell. I've had mouth sores in my mouth. My tongue feels like it's burnt. I can barely walk, barely move. My nerves shoot sharp pains through my body. The symptoms and the side effects get worse and more things add on to it.
So today we're going to do a follow-up on that story.
Today's just a bad day. Everything hurts on Saturdays and Sundays really bad. Like when I get that Neulasta shot I told you, every time I had treatment with my first 4, the next day I had to go get a Neulasta shot, which helps for the white blood cell counts, and what it does is it makes just everything hurt, all your bones, your muscles, even just your neck, your cheekbones, just everything. But then once I did that first 4 treatments, I didn't have to do Neulasta shot, but the chemo still makes everything hurt, but not as bad as a Neulasta shot, but almost. So it's terrible. Anyways, so like everything just hurts. And I've gained weight, of course, from this freaking chemo crap.
Well, that's good.
No. More people getting cancer and dying from cancer. And actually this morning when we were in church, they were talking about how someone got cancer. And
Yeah, it's
like more and more people.
Yeah, as soon as I found out, like you said, as soon as you knew I had it, it seems like it's everywhere now. And then I even see the commercials on TV for animals. Animals that get cancer. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? You know, so, and you know, I see more and more of the cancer commercials for the children and for the adults and for the animals. And like you said, the same. When you heard I had cancer, now it's all over. And the same with me too. Yeah, it's just amazing. And before I got it, I knew people get it, but I didn't think it was as huge as it is until I got it.
I didn't either.
And it's huge. And every time I go in that cancer center to get my treatment, where I get my treatment at, the woman walks back and she gets the binder for a new patient. You know, she walks back and she goes in a closet. And so you'll see her walk past us, and we're all sitting in our chairs getting our treatment. But where she has to go to get the new binder for a new patient is, you know, she walks past us and she goes to that closet and she gets that new binder. And I see her do that so much. So even since I've been going there, I haven't seen a lot of new patients per se, because, you know, they're meeting her. But I've seen her go and get those binders so much, and that's for a new patient. So I can't even begin to tell you how many new patients that they've gotten since I've started going there. So it's like a horrible disease, you know. It's terrible. I really never knew too much about cancer, just like I don't know too much about a lot of medical things until like it happens to me or it's happened to someone else, and then I start learning about it. So the only other time I knew really about cancer was when my grandfather had it, and I was like in high school, like in 11th or 12th grade, and back then it was just like, okay, you know, he has cancer and he's sick, and I didn't know really what he was going through. I just knew, you know, my grandmother would say, well, he's going through chemo. I didn't know what chemo was. Okay, he's going through radiation. I didn't know what radiation was. And, well, what is that? Oh, just don't worry about it. It's okay. We're taking care of Grandpa. So I, even then, didn't get any answers. And back then, you know, we didn't have all the, you know, the technology or the internet or libraries or stuff where we could go and Back then we just didn't think to check things out as much as I think we do now, like especially now that we have the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I didn't really know too much, and he's the only person that I knew that passed away from it. So it was just more hush-hush, and it was just, this is what he's got, and he didn't make it, and that was it, and didn't think to know anything about it. And people die of heart problems and this problem, that problem, but you still don't know exactly why or how it happens. But then all of a sudden, then I got cancer, and then I was all freaked out. I was all over the place. And so I was trying to go on the internet and trying to educate myself and going on YouTube and everything. And then, of course, my oncologist, I didn't even know what an oncologist was until somebody told me what an oncologist was, which that's a cancer doctor. And I didn't even know that. So see, I'm learning all this stuff going through what I'm going through right now, an oncologist and all these names, that I never even knew. And so what I did wrong, though, is for myself, is I educated myself on the internet about cancer, and YouTube, and I just mentally messed with my head, and I was all over the place and freaked out and scared. And then my cancer doctor, he had said, quit going on the internet and quit going on YouTube. That's the worst thing that I could do, because it affects everybody differently. Some people are strong and can handle it, and some people can't, and I'm one of the ones that are weak. When I put all that stuff in my head, then I just get all freaked out about everything, and I'll cry, and I'll scream, and I'll have nightmares, and I'll have dreams. And so I'm one that can't educate myself. I have to let people try to educate me a little bit, and still it scares me. And then they give you like this big binder of all this material to read, about cancer and everything. And I read all of that, and I went back and I told them at the cancer center, I said, I can't read that stuff. It's just mentally messing with me. And she said, well, don't read it no more. And I told her, it's too late. I read it all. So I know a lot more now, since I'm going through it, of how it affects you, and how chemo affects you, and how just everything affects you. I'm learning more now because I'm going through it. But I still don't know everything, and I don't think I ever will.
I think it's impossible to know everything about cancer.
It is. It's impossible, because everybody has different kinds, different treatments, different everything. But see, like, when I found out I had cancer, I didn't even feel I didn't even feel I had something wrong with me. Some people like have a heart problem, and they'll have like a heart attack, or they'll be weak, or they'll have pain in their chest or something. With me, I had a lump in my breast, which I didn't know. Well, it wasn't there until after my mammogram, and then my grandson found it. But before that, before they came back and they said, you have cancer, I was feeling fine. I didn't have no signs, no symptoms, no sickness, no nothing. So I never even knew I had it, in the way of having signs or symptoms. So how long would I have had it? How long would I have had it? Because not every woman gets mammograms every year, and I just so happened to get mine next day. My grandson put his head there. There was a lump, and that lump wasn't there before the mammogram. They didn't even see it on the mammogram. And like I said, I wasn't feeling nothing. So there are some things out there, like cancer and other things, that you sometimes don't get no signs or symptoms. And I still don't know everything about cancer, or my cancer, or the treatments for cancer, or anything. It's just too overwhelming. It's just too much. And some days I think, God, I don't even feel like I have cancer. I don't even feel like a person who had cancer, because I don't. Some people do get signs and symptoms, but that's when they're worse. Like when they've had it for such a long time in their body and they didn't know it. And then finally the signs and the symptoms start occurring. But some days I sit here and I do think, and I think, God, I don't even feel like I have cancer. I don't even feel like I had it. You can look at me and you may not know what's wrong with me, but a lot of people know that cancer patients do go bald. So a lot of times people think two things, and that's what I've heard a lot: AIDS or cancer. I don't know of any AIDS patients that have gone bald. But, no, seriously, that's what I've been told, is a lot of people assume when they see me or other cancer patients, a lot of us are bald, most of us are bald, and the first two things are, do you have AIDS or do you have cancer? And I'm thinking, AIDS? I've never heard of anybody going bald with AIDS, but it's just, whatever. But and people do look at me, and you can tell that they are looking at me, and they can tell, because I don't look the same at all. I can tell I'm more white, my eyes are more droopy, I just don't look as happy, which I'm not. I just, I don't look like Lisa. And like I tell everybody, this is not Lisa, this is Chemo Lisa. And I even tell them at the cancer center, maybe one day, everybody at the cancer center will see the old Lisa, because when they first started seeing me, I had just gotten out of surgery from having my breasts removed. And so they started seeing me trying to heal from my breast surgery, and so I looked horrible then, and then I started chemo, so I'm looking horrible now. So they never got a chance to see what I really look like. Not that I'm too impressive to look at, but what I really look like, when I had hair and when I could do my makeup or whatever and wear clothes and, be more happy and smiling and, more perky and stuff. The people at the cancer center have never got to see me that way because I went straight from surgery to chemo. So I keep telling them maybe one day they'll get to see the real Lisa in clothes and stuff. Yeah. So, and I do get people from time to time saying, you're just going through chemo, get over it. Well, let me tell you, I'm not just going through chemo, and I'm not going to get over it. Because chemo is hell. And chemo is horrible. And like I told my cancer doctor, and I've told several other people, and I'm being very honest, and how I feel. Now, other people may feel differently, but I tell them that I hate my life right now, and I'm living in hell. Because that's how I feel. And I'm not just going through chemo, I am going through hell. And chemo is a poison. And they're putting poison in my body to try to make me live longer. And it was my choice to do this, but I'm trying to live longer. I can't say, some days, if you get me, I will say, I want to quit, I'm done, I don't want to do it no more, I'm tired of it, because that's how bad it is. And it's not just chemo. Chemo is horrible. So for somebody to say you're just going through chemo, until you go through it, you're not just going through chemo. And I don't want anybody to go through it, and I hate to see people go through it as well as myself, but I'm just saying for somebody to say that, they need to really quit saying that, because it's not just, Lisa, you're going through chemo, get over it.
It's not like it pulled.
It's not like, I lost my toe. It's different. Some people say, you lost your toe will get better, that little nub will heal, get over it. This is chemo. It's hell. It's poison in your body. And for people to also say things like, that I'm asking for a pity party, or I'm asking for people to feel sorry for me. I've never once asked anybody to feel sorry for me or anything. Like when you ask me questions, I'm telling you the truth. When you ask me questions, I'm telling you how I feel and what I'm going through. And when people call me and ask me, well, how are you doing? How is the chemo? How are you feeling? I tell them how I feel, what I'm going through, what my body's going through, because they asked. And I may cry during the time because I'm just so upset and sad and depressed and I want it over with and it hurts and I'm sick and I'm just tired and I'm done and but I don't feel me telling people how I feel or what I'm going through is asking for a pity party or asking for somebody to feel sorry for me. I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just telling you the truth. Don't ask me if you don't want to hear. But I'm not asking for anybody to feel sorry for me. I just want people to know the truth. I want them to know what I'm going through. And if you ask, I'm going to tell you. But I don't look at that as a pity party or feel sorry for me. And the other thing is I've gotten told, well, I'm not going to feel sorry for you, and I don't feel sorry for you. Well, one, I didn't ask anybody to feel sorry for me. And two, I'm not asking anybody to feel sorry for me. I just want people to know. And if everybody who wants to know and who asks, I will tell them. But nowhere am I asking for you or anybody to feel sorry for me, or to feel bad or anything. You might say, oh God, I feel sorry for Lisa, what she's going through, which I can understand that, but I'm not asking. I'm just telling, and that's basically what I'm doing. And I don't feel, and I open up a lot to when people I know that are close to me, I'm not going to mention any names, but when they hurt my feelings or hurt me, and which has been happening a lot lately since I've been going through this, and I don't understand why, and I'm very much more emotional now, so I do cry a lot, I will tell you that. I cry a lot. I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, or why they're saying what they're saying to me, or why they're not saying anything at all, or why they're not talking to me at all, or calling me, or why they say they will call, or they'll come and visit and they don't. But it really hurts. It really hurts because, sometimes you really need that in time. I'm not saying I need somebody to feel sorry for me or hold me all day long, but I'm saying now I'm realizing, now that I'm going through something really serious, which is cancer, and I'm going through chemo, and I could live or I could die, I'm realizing I really want people by my side and to be there for me, because I need that. Because I need to feel like I'm loved and cared for, and I'm just not needed or wanted for other things. I'm also needed or wanted for my heart, as well as I can give my heart and my love to people too. And when I'm not getting that, I still feel so alone. And you could be sitting in my house and watching TV or whatever you're doing, that still makes me alone. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, because they're not interacting with you. They're not talking to you about it.
Right, and when I try to talk about it, I get, sometimes when I try to talk about how I'm feeling, or if I have a breakdown moment, I get told not very nice things, what do you want me to do for you, or there's nothing I can do for you. There is, just listen to me. Like when I talk to the people at the cancer center, they listen, like you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I can call up one of the ladies at the cancer center and talk to her for an hour on the phone, take an hour up of her time, which she's supposed to be working, and she'll listen. And I can cry and I can tell her how somebody's making me feel or what's going on, and she'll listen. And then, and she'll say a few things and I'll say a few more, and then, okay, thanks for talking. And that it didn't change the problem or the situation, and it didn't change how those people are treating me or making me feel, but it made me feel good to at least talk to her and let it out, and at least I could cry instead of sitting here and holding it all in and being so angry, because I am very angry. Ever since I've been going through cancer, I've been very angry, very depressed, very sad, very alone, a lot of emotions.
Has chemo gotten any easier or harder?
No, it has not gotten any easier. Chemo is chemo, but like I said, there are some things that I don't have. The first 4 treatments were my first major treatments, and then now I'm on 12 treatments, which I have 5 more to go, and then after the 5 are done, then I have to be on the Herceptin until next June. So there are different things that I have with this one that I didn't have with the other 4, and there are some things that I don't have that I had with the other. Like I don't have the mouth sores this time, and I don't have all the nauseated this time, but I still have like the aches and the pains, and very tired, very weak, very lazy, have no energy, just don't feel so good. It's no fun. It's no fun.
Well, it's gonna get better.
Yeah, it's gonna get better when it's over. That's when it's going to get better.
We only have 5 more to go, so.
5 more, and then I'll just be on the Herceptin until next June. The Herceptin is not a chemo. It's, I think they said it was like an antibody or something like that, but it's to help prevent the cancer and stuff like that. And I still have to get it in my port every 3 weeks. I'll know more about that when that starts happening.
Did you get any new side effects with the chemo?
With this one that I'm on now? Yeah, the one that I'm on now, usually the chemo takes effect and kicks in. I have it on Thursday, every Thursday, once a week. So when it kicks in usually Saturday, Sunday, and most of Monday. That's when I start getting all of the stuff from it. And the one that I do have is my back will hurt really, really bad. I still get all the pains in my muscles and my joints and everything, to where everything, hurts and aches, even like, in the bones in my throat and my face, just everywhere. But the back is one of the ones that does hurt really bad with this side effect. Also, I'm getting numbing and tingling in my toes, and they call that neuropathy. And what that is this chemo that I'm on right now can cause that, and it gets in your toes and it causes like numbing and tingliness. It's like the nerves, and you have to be very careful of that, because if it goes more into the feet and up the legs, then sometimes what they have to do is they have to weaken the chemo, or they have to stop the chemo, because it can cause damage, because then I can't feel my feet, so I won't be able to feel to like walk, so I could trip, I could fall, and that becomes more dangerous. So we're keeping an eye on it right now. It started in the right toes, and then it started in the left, and now it's just in both sets of toes, more in the right than the left. And we just have to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't go any further, and if it does, we have to figure out what we're going to do next. But that's another thing that started, and that's just with this set of chemo. Also, my head feels different. It feels like it's swaying and moving. Like looking at you, it feels like it's swaying and moving. So like you're going like this, but my head isn't going like this, but you are. And I come to find out that the chemo with this chemo treatment, it has gone to my head. So this chemo has affected my head in the way like I walk and I see things. So it makes it difficult when I'm walking, because it seems like everything's just swaying back and forth, or you're swaying. And definitely can't drive, because then I might see a car there and the car might not be there, it might be there or something. So I definitely am not able to drive still. Some people can drive during chemo and some people can't. Everybody's different. But those are some of the other things that are different from the first chemo treatment. And I wanted to add, when I had my first 4 treatments, which were the really major ones, the 4th one, when I finished my 4th one, I did wind up almost not making it. I wound up in the hospital. My white blood cell counts were to 0, and they had to isolate me and put me in a room to where nobody could come in there. And when they did, they had to wear masks and gloves and gowns and everything, because my immune system was nothing. So if anybody was sick or had any germs or anything, I could get it. So I was in the hospital for that. And then I also had to have a blood transfusion, because my red blood cell counts got too low. And I had to have a blood transfusion. So that was during the first treatment. Right now, they check my blood every time before treatment. And I just had my blood checked last week. I have it checked every week before treatment. And my red blood cell counts are getting low again. But right now, they are not dangerously low to have another blood transfusion yet. So they're keeping an eye on it to make sure that it doesn't get too low. And if it does, I might have to have another blood transfusion, but we're keeping an eye on that too. But they are starting to get low. And it's not what you eat or anything, it's just the chemo is what does that. Because like it will say anemia, which means anemic, which means low in iron. But I can take all the iron tablets I want, or eat all the iron food I want, and that's not going to help. It's the chemo that takes the iron and makes you anemia. So there's nothing you can really do to prevent it. It's the chemo that does it. So we're keeping an eye on that right now and making sure that it doesn't get too low. If it does, then I'll have to maybe have another blood transfusion, but let's hope it doesn't. So those are some of the new things that are with this chemo treatment that I can think of. Sometimes I can't remember everything right now.
actually just part of chemo.
Yeah. They do say that. They do. There's somebody that disagrees that says there's no such thing as brain chemo fog or losing some of your thoughts from chemo, but they have told me that that can happen, and I've had professionals tell me that that can happen, which they call it chemo fog or brain fog. And so it is true, it can happen. So some people out there that say that it can't, you're wrong. Anyways, I have to write everything on the calendar too. It drives me nuts. My calendar looks like a scribble pad.
You should get a giant calendar just go on that part of the wall.
I have it up on the wall in the kitchen, but it's just like every minute I have to write something down just so that I don't forget, you know, and I have to constantly look at it. Mm-hmm. And I always wrote things down before on my calendar so I don't forget appointments and stuff, but now, like, just anything that maybe I have to do in a week from now or set up an appointment from now or something, I have to write, like, you know, armpit or something on there just so that it reminds me to make those appointments also.
You can get like sticky notes, just put it on the wall.
And put them all over the wall and the ceiling and everything. Boy, my house would be loaded with all that. And also, I'm not taking as much medicine as I was having to take during the first treatment. So that's good. But I'm keeping it all right now, just in case if I do need to take it. But once I am done with chemo, it is going in the trash. Because I look like I have a pharmacy in my house. But anyways.
Okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how painful was the chemo before compared to now?
Well, the chemo before was a 10. The first 4 treatments was a 10. And this now, it's pretty bad, but it's not as bad. So I can say maybe this is maybe a 7 or an 8, especially on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Mm-hmm. 7 or an 8. It's a little bit more tolerable, and I'm, you know, I can tolerate it a little bit more, and I'm not as nauseated in the sores and stuff. I sit in the tub a lot. Like today or tonight, what I'll do is I'll go sit in the tub for a couple hours, and it helps ease the pain in the body. And then I'll take some ibuprofen or Tylenol. So it's the first one was a 10 and 100 and 1,000. This one's more of, I can say, a 7 or an 8. It's pretty bad, but it's a little bit more tolerable. But I don't want to ever see anybody go through this because it's horrible.
Well, what's the worst part about chemo?
Right, okay. Well, the worst part about chemo is what it does to me. I mean, like I said before, everything about going through cancer and the chemo and the surgeries, chemo is the worst, and it's just how it makes me feel. It just makes everything hurt. It makes everything ache. It's made me gain weight. It's made me swell. It's made me lose muscle and gain fatty tissue, and it's affected my head in the way, like I was telling you earlier, how I sway and things don't feel right. Yeah. So it's affected my whole inside of my body and outside, but you don't see it on the outside. But what I mean by the outside is like when you touch me and stuff, everything's sore and tender to the touch. So it's just how it makes me feel. And it makes me tired, and it makes me exhausted and very weak and very lazy and no energy, and I have no strength. And it's like I'm normally a go fast person. I normally walk around my house fast, walk around outside fast, walk in the store fast. I'm usually fast. Now I'm so slow, and I can walk from here to the bathroom and just come back and just feel like I walked forever. Like it just takes everything out of me, and it just makes me feel really horrible. Everything just hurts inside, and it just gives me nothing. I have nothing. It's just like, this is chemo, Lisa. It's awful.
Are there any tips that you would give to people who are just starting chemo?
Any tips? Try to make sure you have, hopefully, I don't know if it's a tip or not, but hopefully you have some people who really love you and care about you and who will help you and be there for you and do anything they can for you in your time of need, and not criticize you, hurt you, say mean things to you, and tell you they can't be there for you or they can't help you. Because that is the number one thing you need. Because when you don't have that, you have a hard time doing what you need to do to get your treatments. You got to go to doctor's appointments, you got to go get blood work, you got to go to your treatments. And when you don't have any help or anything like that, it makes it really hard. And if you can, get as educated as you can on what kind of cancer you have and what you need to do. And the other tip is to listen to the doctor and do what the doctor says, because I've done everything that the doctor has told me to try to make things better for myself, where some patients won't. Like, I've gained in between 9, 10, 11 pounds since I've been going through this. And that's one, because I forced myself to eat. Because patients who don't force themselves to eat do lose all the weight and get very, very, very thin, which makes it worse. And the ones that force themselves to eat makes it a little bit easier, because we gain fatty tissue and we lose muscle. So that's why we have a tendency to gain weight, plus when we're forcing ourselves to eat. And plus I also swell. So you want to just do everything you can. And yeah, I wish I could get back into my britches. I would just do everything they say. Take your medicines and take them when you need to. Because like when you're really, really nauseated, if you're not on top of it, it will get worse. So when you need to take those nauseated medicines, how they say to take it, take it. Don't wait and say, oh, I'm just a little nauseated, I'll wait until it gets bad. If you do that, it don't work, because when you wait until it's too bad, then the medicine just don't work. And you got to take care of your mouth so you don't get the mouth sores. If you get the mouth sores, make sure you take the medicine, because the mouth sores do hurt really bad. Just do everything you're asked to do. Make sure you keep your hands clean. If you have a port, keep it clean. Just do everything they say, because your immune system does get really low and you can get really, really sick, like I did, and you can wind up in the hospital. And I just listen to everything they say and just do the best you can, and just try to get through it.
Now that you're on a different type of chemo, do you have more happy days, or are they kind of worse?
Well, on this chemo, on the first 4, I never really had, but I think 2 good days, and that was it. And on this, I really don't have any good days. It's just because every day is just everything's going on in the body, And I start feeling just a little tiny bit, I guess I could say perkier a little bit by Wednesday, but then Thursday's another treatment. So, I'll have treatment on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'll start feeling just a little bit better, but not 100%. Never 100%. Never do I feel 100%. And then by Thursday it's another treatment. So I really don't get any really good days, because it's in my body, and it's never really a good day for me, at least. I don't think I've ever had a good day. I've had a little bit better day, but never a good day.
I always tell my subscribers and my supporters, that's the little things that count. How do you feel when you receive little things?
Actually, when I first had my surgeries to have my breast removed, I received some flowers and some cards and some balloons, which it was the littlest thing, but it just still made me feel good inside, and it just made me smile, and it was nice. And actually, since I've had my surgery, I haven't gotten anything else from anybody except for you, your mom, and your brother, which was some food and some cards and a candle and stuff like that. And it is the littlest things, because when you guys brought that to me, I just had like a smile on my face, and it made me feel good inside that you guys did bring that for me. So I would think that the littlest things like that, it makes me feel good inside, Of course, I'm still going to be sad and depressed and angry and everything, but just for that moment, it did put a smile on my face, and it did make me feel good inside that you guys brought me, the cookies and the watermelon and the tri-tip, which is my favorite, and the corn on the cob and stuff. So it did make me feel good. inside that you guys, did bring that. So that does make me feel good, and that's the only thing I've really gotten since my surgery, but I can tell you now that that does make me feel good. And to also just to have somebody to listen to you, even if even if I want to cry or talk about what I'm going through or what I feel, just to have somebody listen to me and be there for me, is the littlest thing to me, And I think that that's really important, at least for myself, but I don't get much of that, which I wish I did. But I do the best with what I can, and I'm still trying to get through this. And I just still sometimes just feel so alone, And I know I am alone in the way of people not listening and talking, and I wish they would. And that's my opinion, and if nobody likes it, then I'm sorry, but that is how I feel, and that's how I've been treated, and that's how people have been treating me. And if they don't like it, then I'm sorry, but it is the truth. But it is the littlest things. I'd rather have that than big, huge things,
Mm-hmm.
It just means more.
Yeah, and you deserve it.
Well, thank you. I would like to think so. Going through so much, I deserve a little something, something, instead of other things that have been happening or going on, or other things that people have been saying or doing. I think I do.
You do, because you are strong and you're going to get through this.
I like to think I'm strong, but some days, whew, I like to think I'm strong and I have strength and I have faith and everything. But just, just days you just get so just down, just that you're just, well, I am just down, and I just get so ready to just quit. Because it's just a lot. It's a lot to go through. Not just the chemo and the surgeries, it's your emotions too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much all at once. And with me, sometimes I feel like I'm craving love and care, that since I've been going through this, for some reason I feel like I haven't gotten much of that, and I sometimes I feel like I've never felt so not loved before in my life until now. And that's my feeling, and that's the way I feel. And if nobody likes me saying that, then I'm sorry. And I'm not asking somebody to feel sorry for me by saying that. It's how I feel. It is my feelings. Because every time I try to say how I feel, like what I just said, people will say, you just want somebody to feel sorry for you, or you want somebody to pity you or something. And that's not what I'm saying. It's just my feelings. It's what I'm feeling in my heart, and it's what I'm feeling and thinking in my mind. I just feel that right now it's me, and it's not saying feel sorry for me, pity me, or anything. It's my feelings, and that's what I keep trying to tell everyone. It's my feelings. It's what I feel in my heart, and it's what I think in my mind. And you all can think that I'm wrong or incorrect, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm not. Friends and family don't live close, and there's a few that live close, and it's so hard because some feel that they can't do anything or be there, which I find kind of odd, because if it was me, I would try to make sure I could do as much as I could for that friend or family member if they lived close by, as much as I could and as possible as I could. I would try my best. Instead of just saying I can't, I would try my best to do what I could. I mean, it may not be every day or every week or every minute, but I would try, because I wouldn't want to treat my friends and family the way that things have been towards me and the way I've been treated. And I just couldn't think to do that, especially in times like sickness and illness and surgeries and just really serious situations. I mean, I would try to do my best, and I would think that other people would try to do their best, but sometimes it doesn't always end up that way, and it doesn't always end up the way you would like it to be. And you have to just try to deal with it emotionally and try to, work through your emotions and get through it the best you can. And sometimes you can't get through it, but you just have to try. But I know, I mean, you guys are there, even though you live far away.
You are my inspiration for me doing the Kids for Healing and helping others with cancer. What are your thoughts of Kids for Healing?
I think it's great. I didn't ever think that you were going to do that. I didn't ever think from me having cancer you were going to be on TV and in the newspaper and have your own Facebook page, Kids for Healing, and your own YouTube channel with your mom. I didn't even think that you were going to do all this and try to raise money for people and kids and adults and try to help out and do all this. I think it's wonderful what you're doing, and I hope you keep it up and do a good job and keep going with it.
I've seen people who shave their hair, but then
They don't do anything else, but you've gone really far. I mean, you have your PO box, don't you have a Twitter and Facebook?
I have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WordPress,
and YouTube.
YouTube.
You're doing a great job. You really are.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And I want to continue to do this for you because you are my inspiration. And like, if it weren't for like you getting cancer, I probably wouldn't have known what cancer is or wanted to take a stand for it.
Right. You probably wouldn't have done all that you've done. It's amazing how it takes something like this to get somebody motivated to do something sometimes. Oh, thank you so much for everything, you guys.